Salut ma chérie. Je pensais qu'aujourd'hui, nous allions commencer par quelque chose de différent. Oh, what? You think I can't hypnotize you en français? Well, let's just try that out quickly. Repeat after me. Je suis une poule mouillée. And again. Je suis une poule mouillée. One more time. Je suis une poule mouillée. You just said, I'm a sissy, 3 times in French. Bang, you're hypnotized. Easy as that. Guess we can all go home now, huh? Mi español es terrible, so I had to look this one up. Soy una mariquita. Isn't that beautiful? Mariquita. I love that. Know what they call a sissy in Japan? Memeishi. And I've probably screwed up the pronunciation of that because I'm about as good with Japanese as I am with understanding the appeal of baseball. But the point is, there are words for you in every language around the globe, which pretty neatly proves the point straight away that you're not abnormal, right? I want you to consider this idea just for a moment. Shame is a societal construct. Consider that if there was no one else in the world, just you, you'd never feel shame. Shame is something a society cooks up. It's artificial. But identity, well, identity is intrinsic, right? You are who you are. And it's society's shame that might lead you to act as if you're someone else. And as you might have heard me say once or twice before, fuck society. Community is good. Connections are vital. But society, well, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's shit. Sometimes it pushes down the best of us and elevates the worst. So when it comes to something as essential as identity, why on earth would you let society dictate it? And if you eschew society's diktats, then you can also eschew other people's shame, can't you? If you're a long-term subscriber, you might remember me telling you I have a friend who is, in pretty much every definition of the word, a sissy. He likes to cross-dress, likes to play the girl, likes to be submissive. But he just straight up hates that word. Sissy. He says it's mostly phonetic. He's not a fan of the way it sounds or feels. But I think if he's a little more honest with himself, there's a part of him that doesn't like the connotation. Sissy, after all, is aside from anything else, a signifier of weakness. It's derogatory. At least elsewhere when I'm not involved. It's an insult thrown at people judged as less than, because they're too in touch with their feminine side, which makes it sexist too, of course. Because there's no such thing as being too in touch with your feminine side, just as there's no such thing as me being too in touch with my masculine side. The problem, such as it is letting your insecurity about your connection to one or the other drive you to despair or cruelty. The people who use sissy as an insult, at least away from Femdom, are doing nothing but advertising their own weakness. Not because they're not manly enough, but because they worry they're not. And while this isn't the most empathetic thing you'll ever hear me say, I'm kind of past the point where I even feel sympathy for them. Life's just too short for me to waste my emotional bandwidth on people concocting problems out of thin air. That's not you. I'd empathize with your problem. but I might disagree on what it is. It's not wearing panties, for example. It's not liking the thrill of being locked in chastity, not experiencing a rush when playing with sexual flavors beyond vanilla. No, your problem isn't what you like, but feeling ashamed of liking it at all. And the reason you feel ashamed is societal. Society told you that this was bad, wrong, weak, degenerate. Pick whatever shitty word you like. But that's just one society. Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. 3 words from 3 different societies. 3 different points of view. Who's to say which is right? Who says there even is a right? Well, me. I say so. There's right and there's wrong, and both are what I tell you, and fuck anyone who disagrees. So that's handy, huh? Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. All the M's, and yet English went with an S. But I kinda like the way they roll off one another. Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. Isn't that nice? Il n'y a rien de mal à être une poule mouillée. Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. No hay nada de malo en ser una mariquita. Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. There's nothing wrong with being a sissy. Mauviette, Mariquita, Memeshi. It sounds better in another language, doesn't it? And part of that's just good old-fashioned exoticism. It's different, alien, so it's attractive. But there's also the truth that when we consider a culture so different from our own, that the people there literally speak a different language to one another, it's that bit easier to imagine another life. If words can be different, and customs can be different, maybe we could be different. Maybe we could lead a different life. Mauviette. Emotional openness. Mariquita. Arousal. Memeshi. Surrender. The truth of the matter is that your life would be different if you were raised in another part of the world. Your experience would be altered if you thought in another language. Maybe it would be better. Maybe it would be worse. That doesn't really matter. What matters is, what really matters, mi pequeña mariquita. What matters is that those experiences aren't locked away from you. You can learn to speak in a foreign language. You can learn to think in a way alien to you. And you don't need to move house to do it. Because while your location might be fixed, and society might move too slowly, you can move at whatever pace you like. Mauviette. Soft warmth wrapping your skin, eyes closed down. Mariquita. The ease of breathing in through the nose while you smile. Memeshi. The moment you let your shoulders drop and decide to let go. And just for a moment, let that idea settle in. That you are not fixed. You weren't born with a label carved into your chest. You were born with sensation and hunger and choice. And maybe that's why it frightens you. Because choosing means owning. It means saying yes. Not just yes to wearing what you like. Not just yes to being aroused by humiliation or femininity or submission. But yes to yourself. You were taught to say no. You were taught to fear the feminine in you, to recoil at softness, to coat your wants in sarcasm or shame. I want you to breathe in, slowly, and with that breath, I want you to imagine inhaling not air, but permission. Inhale a new culture, a new identity, as if it were scent, as if you could taste it. My culture, your identity. Hold it. Let it settle and exhale other people's shame. Let it leave your body with the sound of your breath. Chest and shoulders dropping, weight being lifted. Again, inhale, acceptance. Maviet, Marikita, Memeshu. Exhale, the guilt of one small society. Let the words cycle with your breath, sweetie. Maviet, the ache in your belly when you want to serve. Marikita, the tickle at the back of your tongue when you whisper yes. Memeshi, the surrender in your shoulders as they drop down, down, down. You're not wrong. You never were. You just spoke the wrong language. You tried to translate your desires into a thin sliver of dialect that didn't know how to hold them. But I do, and I will. Because I see you. I don't need you to change. I want you to drop. Drop into truth. Drop into softness. Drop for me, sweetie. Let yourself go deeper and deeper. And when you hear those 3 words again, you'll feel something bloom in your chest, like a flower uncurling for the sun. It might ache, but it's not pain. It's release. It's the uncoiling of something that's been locked inside you for years. Malviet, Marikita, Memeshui. Say them. Feel them. Become them. Because you are more than one word, more than one language, more than one culture, more than a simple label that could never encapsulate everything that makes up you. You are beautiful and complex and ill-defined by the narrow constraints of one closeted society. You are not reducible. You are not small. You are the beauty of contrast, the masculine and the feminine kissing like opposites on a mirror, like magnetic poles held helplessly together. And I love that about you. Not because it's strange, not because it's taboo, but because it's real. Because when I look at you, I don't see a contradiction. I see completion. The quiet boy who once tried to hide it. The blushing man who sometimes still does. The trembling thing underneath. The brave thing on top. All of it. Yours. Mine. Ours. And I know this might be hard to believe sometimes. The idea that you're not broken or perverted or wrong. But have you ever considered the possibility that you're advanced? What if your hunger, your ache, your kink? What if it's not some leftover defect or deviation? What if it's evolution? What if it's exactly what the world needs? More vulnerability, more openness, more submission to joy. Greater flexibility than a simple binary could ever account for. You're not behind. You're ahead. And maybe that's why it hurts. Because artists are never appreciated in their own time. Because pioneers bleed. Because sissies are misunderstood by the fearful. You feel the sting of being misunderstood, cast sideways by people too afraid to see themselves in your mirror. But that's not a reason to turn back. That's a reason to go deeper. You don't owe them comfort. You owe yourself the truth. And I'll say it again, so your body can catch up to the reality of my words. There's nothing wrong with being a sissy. Maviet, Marikita, Memeshi. There's everything right with it. Because it means you've made peace with contradiction. Because it means you know how to feel in more than one language. Because it means you're mine. I want you to imagine yourself not in some idealized future, not as some fantasy version of yourself with perfect curves or flawless skin or whatever bullshit face app delusion you thought you needed to earn acceptance. I want you to picture you, just as you are right now, wearing whatever you're wearing, sitting wherever you're sitting, looking like how you look. And I want you to imagine a mirror in front of you. I usually avoid mirror imagery because, it's so fucking cliche, but go with me here. Imagine a mirror, not a metaphorical one, a real one you use every day. A simple glass surface reflecting nothing but the real. And I want you to look. Look at the boy who's sometimes afraid. And look at the sissy who's not. It's not always easy to see her, but she is always there. Look at the way your mouth wants to smile at that realization, and your eyes want to dart away, like you're not sure you're allowed to be this honest, not sure if you're allowed to enjoy it. But you are. Let yourself see who I see. Let yourself be who I want you to be. Because I promise you, there's no one else I'd rather own, and no one else you'd rather serve. Now breathe again, soft and slow. Moviet. Marikita. Memeshi. 3 cultures, 1 desire. 3 words, 1 truth. And that truth? You belong to me. And I command you to accept yourself. It's not always easy, but it is always necessary to hear me see you, choose you, own you, command you. And that's not just because I'm so special, though of course you do think that, and you're not wrong to. I really am that special. But what you feel here goes deeper than my voice, doesn't it? Because whatever file of mine you listen to, whether I'm talking about lingerie draped over flushed skin, or the ache of chastity holding you taut, or the throb of orgasm on the edge of denial, or even the wild mess of surrendering to a group of animalistic hedonists, you know that underneath it all, I see you. I know you. And I never flinch. Moviet. Marikita. Memeshi. That's not just your identity, it's your invitation. And you answer it every time I speak to you. En français, en espagnol, Nyongode, in English, doesn't matter. You come back to my voice again and again, not because you're weak, but because you're learning to be honest. And when I say things that scare you, when I whisper ideas that make your skin prickle, or your cock twitch, or your heart race, you know I'm doing it because I believe in you, because I know even when you don't, that you can take it. I know you're brave enough to surrender to reality. And where else in your life do you get that? Where else do you get to be fully, shamelessly, gloriously yourself and be told that you're still wanted? You keep listening, not out of habit, not out of guilt, but because you feel whole when you're inside my world, aroused under my control, safe when wearing my restraints. You keep coming back because you feel safe and secure, and you should, because I'll never punish you for who you are. Sure, I'll tease you, tempt you, maybe even torment you a little from time to time, but I'll never ask you to be someone else. I don't want you to be someone else. I want you to accept who you are. Moviet, Marikita, Memeshi, Sissy, you belong here. And every month you choose to stay close to me, to invest in this space, to support my voice. What you're really doing is investing in yourself. You're saying, I deserve this. You're saying, my pleasure matters. You're saying, my truth deserves to be heard and touched and stroked and spoken to like it's real. And it is. It's so real, sweetie. You know that. You know you wouldn't be here if it wasn't. Wouldn't look if you didn't want to see. Wouldn't question if you didn't want the answer. Wouldn't be upset by lies if you didn't know the truth. Moviet, Marikita, Memeshi, Sissy. Now say it with me. Moviet, Marikita, Memeshi, Sissy. There. Good girl. And it's not that those words are so special. Not that you have to move to France or Spain or Japan to find acceptance. It's what they represent. Simple, basic human nature. Your nature. Nothing to apologize for. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Something that exists in every country, every culture, every language. Sissy. Effeminate. Soft. Dare I say weak? Of course, because you know that allowing yourself to be weak with me is a sign of the strength of your character. There's nothing contradictory about that. The truly weak ones don't dare let their guard down. You do, because you know you can trust me, because you know that what I'm saying is obvious, because you know you need to hear this. And let's be honest, that's why you keep coming back, isn't it? Not just because of the kink, though sure, the kink helps. You like the panties. You like the teasing. You like the heat of being called a sissy in exactly the tone that makes it feel less like an insult and more like an earned title. But it's not just that. It's that somewhere along the line, I made it make sense. I took all those tangled, contradictory feelings, the shame, the thrill, the fear, the want, and I laid them out in a way that didn't ask for your apology, didn't need to trick you, just show you. I gave you a structure, not a cage, but a frame for the art of you. And suddenly, or eventually, but inevitably, it wasn't danger anymore. It was identity. That's what's addictive. Because even when the file ends, even when the headphones come off, even when you go back to your day job and your inbox and whatever mask you've still got to wear to get by with all those gray little people on the outside, with their gray little lives, something lingers. A certainty. A quiet, insistent feeling that for at least a few minutes, someone saw the truth of you and didn't flinch. Someone spoke to it. And yeah, that someone is me. Not some endless archive of barely inducted porn or some cosplay pretense of Femdom. An honest, unflinching presentation of the whole, flaws, challenges, disagreements and all. Because the reality is more beautiful than any fantasy. So no, I'm not going to tell you that you need to move to another country to find peace with yourself. You don't need a new passport. You don't need to learn a new language. Not literally, anyway. You just need to keep listening. Keep supporting yourself. See that unafraid Sissy in the mirror a little more each day. Keep allowing this truth to be real, not just in the context of a file, but in the context of your life.